Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Gemma, and joining me this week, I have once again my two excellent friends. I do have Trev. Welcome back, Trev.
Greetings to one and all. I'm happy, as always, to be here.
We're happy to have you. And welcome back, Kirk.
I'm happy to be here too.
Nice.
And to have everyone else here.
Yes, indeed.
Well, except Justin. But Justin's always like a bonus.
He is, yes, exactly.
He's with us in spirit.
Yeah. We'll have him on soon, I suppose, when we get to our end of the year kind of wrap up, which is drawing very close. So,
Or even Metroid, which will be
very true, very true. We've got another big show, of course. Pokémon Legends Z-A is out this week, or was out during the week. Huge game. Obviously, Pokemon is one of the biggest titles that you can imagine for Nintendo. It always does very well. We've got some other news to cover. We're going to revisit Halloween, which we forgot last week. We had such a big show. We didn't continue our countdown to Halloween, but we've got some Halloween recommendations, Kirk segment, and of course the games we're playing. But let's kick things off with Pokémon Legends Z-A. And Trev and I both have the game. So we're going to talk about our experience with it. First of all, we ran a little poll on YouTube, and just to ask our viewers, subscribers, whatever, who they would choose as their starter. So the most popular starter, it was up and down a little bit over the last couple of days, but it's actually a tie between Chikorita and Totodile. So they were the pair. It's pretty close though. So Tepig wasn't too far behind. But I wanted to ask Kirk, who is the only one who hasn't got this game. I'm assuming, right, Kirk?
That's correct.
I did not have this game. Correct. Who you think of the three starters that Trev and I chose? And I don't know who Trev has chosen, so it's a surprise to me too. But who do you think?
Well, I have a scientific method for this, I think.
Okay.
I am going to say that you, Gemma, because you're from Australia, you chose Totodile after Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, that's a good guess.
And I think Trevor chose Chikorita because his favorite ABBA song is Chiquitita.
Okay. Well, I will reveal that you are incorrect for me. Oh. I did very strongly consider Totodile though, but Chikorita was my choice. Trev?
I think my favorite ABBA song actually is, was it Fernando?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's kind of the same song. It's the same song with different lyrics.
No, I actually picked Totodile. So
you were kind of right, just the wrong way around there, Kirk.
Well, yeah, see, that's what happens when I rely on science.
Yes.
It's funny, though. I will say, for me, my choice, really, I wasn't even aware that Totodile was sort of like a fan favorite. I picked it mainly because I thought, looking at the starters, I tried to pick the one I thought my wife would be least likely to pick.
Okay.
And just looking at their designs, I'm like, I bet you she'll pick the grass or the fire. Because I wasn't sure if she was just going to watch me play, if we would trade off, or if she'd start her own profile, and it's probably going to be all three.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, I am with part of the majority, at least for our votes. Although I think he is kind of just casually looking at a few other polls, like on Blue Sky. I think Totodile is kind of a bit of a front runner for whatever reason.
Yeah, he's very cute. I choose them based on cuteness usually. So Chikorita won the competition for me. They're all cute, honestly, but I just thought Chikorita was... and green is one of my favorite colors. Like I chose Sprigatito, whatever. I can never get the name right, from Pokemon Violet, which was a green cat. So green is a bit of a winner for me. I thought Totodile was maybe more powerful. Like he had, I thought maybe, is he water-based? Is that what his thing is? Is he a water Pokemon?
Yeah. I gotta say, though, it was tough to turn down green. Green's also my favorite color.
Yeah.
And when I think of like a crocodile, I think of green. So
exactly.
How come he's not the grass guy? But whatever.
I want to step in real quickly and round out.
Sure.
That green is also my favorite color.
There you go.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that's why we're all we're all here together on this show.
Maybe we should switch the Pure Nintendo logo from orange
I
to
know.
green.
It's obviously we did not choose that, but that's okay.
Fun fact, I think for a brief period before it was Pure Nintendo, I think the site was briefly known as Nintendo Leaf, and it might have been green. I wish Justin was here to confirm that.
Is that real?
Um,
What?
it's real. Well before my time,
Oh,
back when it
wow.
was him and James. There's a random memory I have, but I want to
Oh,
say
we will
it's,
have to confirm that. Yeah. That's cool.
yeah, I'm like 79% sure.
Yeah. Wow, awesome. That's a fun trivia fact for pure Nintendo fans. Thanks, Trev. Yeah, no, I'm going to guess you're a bit further ahead than I am because I've only had the game a little bit. I didn't get it till last night, actually. I ordered it from Amazon. They had a really good price. Well, there was, if you're in Australia, there is a really good price for the Switch 1 and Switch 2 version. I'm not sure how long it will last for, but it's like 20% off. So I've got the
Nice.
physical. Yeah, I got the physical from Amazon just because I wasn't going to make it to some of the other stores. Big W, Target, and Officeworks all have the same deal. So yeah, if you're in Australia, have a look for those places. But yeah, Amazon, it didn't arrive until like 7 p.m. So I was waiting all day, checking the status. I was working, but I just wanted to have it ready for like 5 when I finished work. I'm like, I want my Pokemon game. Where's my Pokemon game? And didn't arrive till 7. And then, of course, we had dinner and we watched a movie on Friday night. So I only got a little bit of time with it. But I'm loving it so far. So Trev, you'll probably know where I'm up to when I say I'm now rank Y. I'm assuming you've
Oh, okay,
passed
yeah.
that part. You up to there?
Nice.
Yes? So that's
I
where I'm up
am
to.
rank W.
Okay, cool. So this is, we talked, was it last week, Kirk? We talked about this? No, the week before, maybe, about the ranking. I can't remember. Anyway. Do you remember?
No, I didn't
No,
have anything.
that's okay. And maybe Trev can talk to this as well if you like. So I don't have to do all the talking. But
Sure.
yeah, the ranking works. It's an interesting system. So the battles happen at night. It's what is it called? A battle zone opens up, and I don't know because I've only done this one night where I've become Y, but it seems like you have to battle a certain number of people to get, what are they called? Trev, is it tickets? Championship tickets?
Yeah, you get like tickets or points that translate into tickets, but in
Mm,
order to challenge for the next rank, you need like X amount.
yes. Yeah,
And
that's
it's
right.
not
You have to
like
get,
you can
yeah.
build them up. It's not like you can just grind out like a whole night and then rush through ranks. It does max you out once you hit it.
Mm,
So it kind of keeps you from forging too far ahead.
mhm.
But it's an interesting setup because we were actually um, fooling around, kind of like exploring and doing things, and then the night ended, and I'm like, oh man, we I need like 500 more points or whatever. So we had to play through a day, which I guess you can actually kind of skip ahead if you sit on a bench, but I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
realize that at the time. So, but
That's cool.
it is an interesting mechanic. I feel like they're sort of taking. It's not like the gym style approach, but it's closer to that than it was Arceus, which was more just about filling the Pokedex.
Mhm. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it is an interesting mechanic. I sort of like it. Like I like the day night mechanic. I like the wild zones where you go and that's where you catch your Pokemon. So I've only been to one wild zone so far, and I've caught I think like six because you have to do 5. That's part of your kind of introduction to the game. They make you to catch 5, and then you get a reward. And there's a lot going on in the city. It seems like it's not that big compared to, say, Scarlet and Violet, which was huge. That was very open world, but it's big enough. Like you look at the map, and the city is sprawling. And I've only explored one very small section so far. And there's a bunch of different wild zones, which I assume have different Pokemon. And I battled. You would have done this too, Trev. The first battle you do to get to rank Y, there was a Pikachu, and I'm like, I want a Pikachu. Where's my Pikachu? So I need to find him somewhere. So yeah. And but there's also a lot going on. Like there's the hotel, and there's the guy that's running the hotel, that really tall, kind of old man.
Yeah, he is tall, isn't he?
Yeah, and I don't know how to say his name because it's just capital A, capital Z. So is it Az or Az, or I don't know. There's no hyphen between it, but it's caps. So it's Az, I guess.
Don't feel bad about not knowing how to say his name. I went through, I don't know, 4 hours before I realized one of the um, one of the guy characters, I think, was a girl or something. I don't know if it's the way the character models are,
Oh, not the
but they
main
finally
person.
introduced them. Oh, wait, what?
The main
Yeah.
person who's showing you around?
No, it
No.
was, who was it? I can't remember. I don't know if it's just the way they were fixed up or, like I said, maybe the character models are a little more limited, but I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, is that a guy or is that I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah, and some of the
Um,
names do leave it open to interpretation. Like there's an Emma, which you would, and she's a girl, but some names are a bit more or less obvious as to
with her tight pants, I knew that was a girl. She's like wearing some kind of scuba suit leggings or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's quite the introduction there. Like they show her
Mm.
from the back end. I'm like, whoa, is this E-rated?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun to level up. Hopefully, there's a lot of variety. Like you're up to W already, and you're saying so. If you accumulated it, like you were 500 short one night, the next night, did you have to start from scratch, or did you continue from having 500
No,
fewer?
I kept it up, but
Okay.
you can't like exceed what you need
Ah,
to
okay.
do the
Yeah.
next like
You couldn't.
promotion battle or whatever.
So you couldn't do two ranks in one night, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can't like
Yeah.
grind through it and that way, which I get because they want you to explore, and I feel like, um, well, I mean, I didn't play Scarlet and Violet, so I can't compare city size,
Mhm.
but I feel like the city's maybe dense,
Mhm.
sort of like reminds me of like a top-down Zelda, where the maps don't get
Yeah.
so big, but each screen really packs a lot. That's what I'm
Yes.
hoping for.
Mm.
And in that way, it's sort of like Arceus. It's not maybe open world, but it's open city, which is the world.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Scarlet Violet had multiple cities, so it was very much you explore the wild zones, for example, in Legends Z-A was what Violet Scarlet was in its open world aspect. It was all wild zones, pretty much, and then there were gyms and cities dotted around the place. Like it was huge. It was sprawling, not like Tears of the Kingdom huge, but big, very big. So yeah, this is quite different, but I like it. I'm really liking it so far. Question for you then, Trev, since you've done a few nights, and they kind of touched on this on the first night where they said once you do your promotion battle, you could like if you lose. I couldn't quite catch what happens if you lose. I didn't lose, but clearly as it continues, it will get harder. Do you know what happens if you lose? Do you go down a rank, or do you just not get to the next rank? You just stay at Y or whatever W, whatever you're up to. Do you know that yet? Have you lost any battles?
I'm not sure. I haven't lost a battle to move up in rank.
Mm-hmm.
I did lose a battle because like Arceus, they have what do they call them? Like alpha Pokemon that are
Mm.
pretty higher level than you are. So I was like, I don't know, level in the teens, and I ran into a Pokemon that was like level 40, and
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
oh, maybe I can, pick him off from a distance with range attacks, and then try to throw one of these powerful balls, and maybe I'll get lucky. And no, that wiped me out. So lesson learned: don't tempt fate with the alphas.
Was that in
But
the
I haven't
wild
lost
zone
a
as
promotion.
opposed to a battle?
No, they were. I think they were on the. I think I found it on a rooftop. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay. So you can just
Um,
battle Pokemon in the city without being in a wild zone? Or sorry, was that in a battle?
it
Nighttime
was.
battle?
I'm not sure if it was related to a side quest.
Ah,
I'm
okay.
trying
Yeah.
to remember. I feel once you get past the first 90 minutes or so, the game really opens up because I felt
Mm.
initially it was a little hand-holdy maybe.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
But once you get that first, move to rank Y, I think you're gonna find that the world's kind of your oyster. You can go and just if you just wanna catch Pokemon, you can do that. If you
Mhm.
just want to do side quests, you can do that. If you just want to explore and fill the map, you can do that because even though the map maybe doesn't look big, I'm seeing all these areas that have no icons, and I'm like, okay,
Ah,
I want to
yeah.
go over there and I want to climb on the roof and I want to, see what all these things are. I want to get new outfits, whatever
Mhm.
the case may be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
Cool.
feel like it sort of, yeah, I can feel the spirit of Arceus, but taken into maybe a more traditional style, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah. Cool.
Because
So
you could still throw Pokeballs and catch low level guys without having to fight, which I love. It's
yeah.
like toss and just keep running.
Mhm.
So that's unique, but obviously the combat, kind of dancing around, that takes getting used to, like Jen. who was playing it a bit with me, she's like, I got to get used to this. And I'm like, yeah, you can just switch out, on the fly and just, try to roll when they're getting ready to throw. And,
Mm.
um, it's mechanically different, but I feel like it's still trying to address some of the criticisms the core games had, where fights were slow and drawn out, and there was a lot of chatter and animations. And I feel like this is designed to go, go, go.
Yeah, it is fast. I do appreciate that. It's definitely faster than Violet and Scarlet. The battles there. I love that. It's kind of funny that you played Arceus. I played Violet, and we didn't cross over there, but now we're both playing the same one. So both of those games made fans of us, I would say, and now here we are playing this one together. So
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I like that aspect. Hmm. Let's
I
just talk quickly
agree.
about the graphics. How do you feel about the look of it?
I was just getting ready to ask you that. It's funny. Um, well, it's interesting. We played for a while, and then I asked my wife. I already had my impressions. I said, "What do you think of that? This game visually?" And she paused for a second. She said, "It's fine." And I said, "Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It's fine. I don't feel like it's I'm playing on Switch 2. It is on
Mhm,
Switch 1 as well.
mhm,
I don't feel like it's showing off the Switch 2 necessarily. Um, I feel like some of the textures maybe are a
mm.
little bland, maybe like some detail. I already mentioned some of the characters I thought could be a little more distinct, but at the same time, it's clean looking, it's colorful. I haven't noticed any pop up or stutter. I think the lighting's good, so I try to put myself in that mindset of imagining playing on the 3DS and
Mm.
now playing on the Switch too. That's a pretty big jump. I don't feel like Pokemon games traditionally have been focused on graphics, so I think it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But I can see how maybe some who are really into it would be critical.
Mm. Yeah, I
What do you
agree with
think?
that. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it looks like I would say good more than fine. I know by fine you don't mean bad. I would say it looks really I say it definitely looks good to me, but I totally agree that it's not showing off anything. Like it's not spectacular, it's not amazing, it's not groundbreaking, anything like that. But it looks good. I think,
Yeah.
like you said, the important thing is there's no stutter and all of that other business that we've seen, particularly in Scarlet Violet. There was a lot of that slowdown. I haven't noticed anything like that. Of course, the Switch 2, and it not being as big a game, I don't think, in terms of the world as Scarlet Violet. I don't imagine it would. Like if it had that slowdown on Switch 2, I'd be very surprised. I don't know how the Switch 1 version runs. I'm hoping it runs well. I haven't heard anything, to the contrary. But yeah, I think it looks nice. It's very colorful. Yeah, it does look a little flat, but some scenes do look nicer than others. Like during the intro, when you first see that kind of tower in the middle with the light behind it, that was really nice. Like that, I noticed that. And sometimes there'll be those kind of little scenes that are just a little bit better than others. Maybe they've added them in for Switch 2. I don't know. But generally, I mean, like I said, I've said this a couple of times now over the past few weeks. It looks like a Pokemon game, and I like that. And I don't want it to look too different anyway. And I think
It does look like a Pokemon game. Yeah.
yeah. And
And
like
when
you
I
said,
say fine, fine
yeah,
doesn't have to be bad. I mean,
yeah,
fine dining is the best dining there is, right? So,
yeah, true. Good
uh,
point. Yes, very good point.
I feel like it could be. I guess too, playing it in handheld mode maybe impressed
Mm.
me a little more than playing it on the big TV where it's
Oh,
blown
yeah,
up.
that's a good
Um,
point. Yeah.
maybe some of those textures that are big on the TV maybe fare better on a smaller screen. Of course,
Mm.
Pokemon started as a handheld game, right? So that's
Yeah, that's
its
true. I
own.
haven't tried it in handheld yet. I will do that. And I did play when I was doing my first night battle, that scene that I played, that you would have also played to get to rank Y, apart from the battle, the promotion battle, that's what I played at PAX. That's what they had set up. So they set you up for that first night battle with your 5 Pokemon, and you do your
Oh, okay.
battles. Yeah. So that's what that was actually. So when I got to that scene, I'm like, "Oh, I recognize this. This is what I did at PAX last week." So yeah, that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think it could be easy to focus, because there's some people who are really demanding Pokemon fans.
Mhm.
And I feel like it could be easy to focus on some of the negative things, but I feel like they'd be robbing themselves of a fun time.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, the game doesn't look bad, and musically, I think it sounds beautiful. I love
Yeah,
all the
it
tunes I've
does.
been hearing.
That's
So
true. That's a good point as well. Yeah, so I'm really happy with it. I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to playing it some more over the weekend. I wished I had more time with it last night before the show, as I said. But no, I'm really enjoying my time with it. So yeah, I'm happy to play this one for fun for once. Well, not for once. I didn't review Pokemon Scarlet either, actually. Um, but Trav's doing the review for this one, so I look forward to your thoughts
Mm.
when you you make your
A
way through.
shout out to you, Gemma, and to Nintendo Australia. I'm really excited because this is actually my first party review code this year.
Yeah,
Because
right. Okay.
of course
Yeah.
Mario Kart I reviewed that, but that was the Peckin game, so
Yeah.
everybody had that. So
Yes.
um,
Yes. Mhm.
it doesn't impact any scoring I'll do, but I just appreciate having it because now it's like, hey, now I can get Metroid and not have to think about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes, big shout out to Nintendo Australia. Thank you for the code, and I'm glad you were able to take it on, Trev, and I hope you enjoy it. Any questions for us, Kirk, before we move on? Since you've not had much to say, sorry.
No, I've learned so much.
I have a question for Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Talking about Nintendo Australia and first party codes, when is Kirk going to set up an Australian account so he can get a first party code?
Yes.
I'm sure they could entice me with the right game.
Mhm, mhm. Cool, cool. Well, stay tuned, stay tuned. Let's move on to some other news then. And the first one I wanted to highlight was, I guess, a bit of a mobile earnings summary, which I stumbled upon just yesterday. And it's a lot better than I thought. I never really thought too much about it, I guess. So Nintendo has quite a few mobile games. This report details kind of all of the earnings of each of them. And I think, what were there, 9 altogether or something? Some of them have obviously gone now. Like we no longer have Mario, what was I saying? Dr. Mario? That's gone.
Mm.
Dragalia lost. I didn't even realize that was gone, to be honest. And is Mitomo? Is that the other one? Is that gone? Is that still around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's gone.
missed that. I actually liked that one. It wasn't
Hmm.
really a game; it was more like a social app. But
Yeah, yeah.
I used to
So
like doing those funky like pictures that you could do with your
yeah.
knees, and
Mhm.
um, just learning about friends, kind of with some of the questions.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. That was really neat. So I don't know, especially Kirk, if you've had a chance to look at this or not, because, and the reason I'm asking you is because, do you know the number one mobile game from Nintendo?
I did look at this. I have it open in front of me
Yeah.
now. So yeah, I would not have guessed. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yep.
Very popular. 1
Although
point almost, sorry?
say it's worth noting that it's I don't know that it's most popular. It's made the most
Most made
money.
money, sorry, you're right. The number
Yeah,
of downloads isn't the highest,
by
which
far.
yeah, yeah, what is it? Super Mario Run is the highest? Yeah, Super Mario Run, 384,000,000, and Mario, Kart Tour, 290,000,000 downloads. Fire Emblem Heroes has 19,000,000 downloads,
Yeah.
which is still nothing to sneeze at. It's still a lot, and it's higher, I think, than anything else. Miitomo had 20,000,000. That was the next in the list. But yeah, revenue-wise, yeah, almost $1.2 billion. And the interesting thing was it 46% of that came from Japan, or is that 46% of all? I think it's all mobile revenue comes from Japan. So Japan is where it's at, and that's why I suppose it explains why if Fire Emblem is making money for them, that's why they are trying this new Fire Emblem mobile game that we talked about a couple weeks ago, Fire Emblem Shadows. Even though it's quite different, it's it's Fire Emblem and it looks pretty nice. It's obviously more of an Among Us situation rather than the traditional tactical turn-based battles that we're used to. It's only got 800,000 downloads so far and $200,000 in revenue, but it has only been out for a month. So who knows how that will go. But yeah, it was just really, really interesting, I think, to see those numbers. I hadn't seen that before. Did you guys have any comments on any of that?
I will say that I have contributed to
Yeah.
that revenue for Fire Emblem Heroes. Yeah, because
Yes.
I'm sure anyone who's played the game knows it's a gotcha game. You collect orbs by doing different things, and then you can use the orbs to try to recruit the new heroes. And they're constantly adding new heroes or changing the heroes. So
Mhm.
there's always something that you would want to jump into. You can buy more orbs if you don't have enough. But what they do that gets me is if you subscribe, which is $10 a month, if you subscribe to Fay Pass, then when they do these orbs where you can summon, there are like 4 different people that you could get, one for each color. Um, if you do the draw 40 times, then they will, if you're a Fay Pass subscriber, you will be able to pick one of the people.
Oh.
So it's better than like buying orbs and just stocking up and hoping you get the draw that you want. You're guaranteed to get it. So I will try to get somebody. And if I hit 40 summons and I don't have that person yet, then I will often just pay $10. That'll get me subscribed for a month. I'll get the person I want, and then I cancel it until that happens again. So maybe 2 or 3 times a year, I'll end up doing that and end up giving them some money. And in fact, with our next news item, I may end up having to do it again.
Yes, okay. Cool. I mean, I contributed to Dr. Mario World. That one only made 13 million, which I suppose is why they canned it. Miitomo only made 3.7 million, so that was the lowest revenue raising. And I definitely have contributed to Mario Kart Tour. I do that monthly thing as well, Kirk, for Mario Kart Tour. It's only $5 a month though, that one.
Oh, yeah.
And that's in Australia, so maybe it's even cheaper in the US. I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and you get heaps of bonuses. So it's good. I like that one. I think it's good value for me, at least. Speaking personally, you don't have to. You can just not pay, and it's completely free. But you just get more. What are they called? Like the gems or whatever, and more coins and more like rewards for racing, which then means you can unlock more characters more quickly and more carts and things. So yeah, it's a bit of fun and it's pretty cheap. And Pikmin Bloom, I've definitely contributed that one too. Sometimes I run out of room for my Pikmin and I just will pay $2 for 50 more spaces so I can have more Pikmin. So.
They do that there too. Okay, they do that in Fire Emblem Heroes. Although you spend an orb, you can add 5 more spaces with an orb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Pikmin Bloom, 7.5 million downloads and $84 million in revenue, which is, it makes that pretty high as well, that one actually, behind Mario Run. So yeah, very, very interesting. Trev, did you have any comments on that at all?
I'm happy Nintendo's earning money, and I'm also happy. Just looking at the article you referenced, that they're taking maybe a less is more approach with mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the number of releases they had in recent years versus when they first started, because now they can take some of that revenue and put it into Switch and Switch 2. I would have thought Mario Run, just by virtue of being their first mobile entry and by being Mario, would have been the big earner. But
Yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it, as you guys were talking, I think that game was a one pay and you get everything.
it was. Yeah,
Whereas
that's right.
the other
Yep.
games have DLC or
Yeah.
gotcha, whatever you call it. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're consistent earners. So for better or worse, that's the approach they're gonna use, right?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It's also interesting. I think the article mentioned something like most of the games came out before 2021 or something. So since 2021, we've only had, is it 2 added? Like Fire Emblem Shadows was this year, and Pikmin Bloom was 2021. That's right. That was the last one before Fire Emblem Shadows. So, they concentrated heavily on mobile earlier, like 2016 to 2019, whatever, or 2021. And then they've really focused on the Switch, like you say. So, yeah, interesting that they've had a new one after all this time. That's why it was kind of big news that they dropped this new mobile game. So, yeah, we'll see how it does and whether they have any more in the pipeline. We probably won't know until they drop them because that's what they seem to do now. But it kind of leads to the next point, as you said, Kirk, with Fire Emblem Heroes, just adding a new character.
Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed. I think did Trevor add here the second one? Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes yesterday added some new heroes as they always do, but most of them in this dump were from Path of Radiance. It's Alincia and Lucina as a duo hero, Seren as a rearmed hero. Stefan is new to the game, and there's a new version of Boyd. I mentioned these people because they're all from Path of Radiance. So when I saw this, I was like, hey, maybe Path of Radiance is just around the corner now. for Nintendo Classics.
Mm.
But then I guess it was Trevor who added that it's 20 years to the day since the game first came out. Is that today as we're recording this, Trevor?
Yeah, October 17th, 2005. It was
Wow.
released in North America.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe it was because of that. So I may have gotten excited for nothing.
Could be. But surely they could also tie that in with the release on the Switch Online there for us, or for you
I
especially.
will
But
say,
yeah.
though, there's still a chance because the Europe release was November 4th. The Australian release was December 1st. So maybe on one of those days, they'll put it
Mm.
on the Switch Online app.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, so we've got our fingers crossed for you and for us. I have not played this one, so I also am looking forward to it coming to Switch Online, so I can finally play it because I didn't have this one on GameCube. So yeah, I didn't get into Fire Emblem until after this. Yeah. It'll happen. It's got to happen. They've already shown us in the teaser. It's one of the games coming. Hopefully, it's not 2 years away. It'll be in the next 6 months, surely, right? Surely.
Yeah, well, they got to run. I'm assuming that it has to be one of the initial games that they release. If they start releasing unannounced games before Path of Radiance, then I'll start to lose my mind. But right now, I'm
Yeah, that
just
would
biding my
be
time.
that would be very uncool, Nintendo. Do not do that.
Yeah.
And next up, we have Intellivision Sprint, which is, I'm guessing, a Kirk thing. What's happening with the
Yeah,
Intellivision?
I appreciate you guys indulging me on this, and readers, listeners too. This has very little to do with Nintendo. But a while back, I mentioned on the show that Atari had purchased Intellivision,
Yeah.
and that was the initial console war. It was Atari versus Intellivision in the late 70s and early 80s. So that Atari bought them was kind of comical. I mentioned at the time, Atari has released a console. It's like shaped like an old Atari 2600, and it has a lot of pre-installed games, but it has a cartridge slot. So if you have old Atari 2600 games, you can play them even if they're not on the system. And I hoped that Atari was going to do the same thing with Intellivision, and they were going to give us a physical system that had a cartridge slot, and they did not. But I'm still excited. They announced just today that the Intellivision Sprint, this is a physical system that's coming out with 45 pre-installed Intellivision games on it. It does not have a cartridge slot, but it has a USB port. So people were speculating that you would be able to install other games that way down the road.
Cool.
Two things about this make me excited. First, it has an HDMI port. The problem with all these things in the past is they've used the old RCA component plug or
Mm.
composite. Is it composite? RCA composite plug. So you couldn't connect them to a modern television. And if you tried with various adapters, it just looked terrible. Now this
Mhm.
one's actually going to look good on a modern TV. Um,
Nice.
it looked like from the video that they've somehow changed them to widescreen. I can't imagine how that's going to work because they were all, standard. What's the phrase, Trevor, for the old square display on televisions? I can't remember.
Just like I just call it like a box TV or.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone will know
Um,
in the comments. Let us know what it's called.
so that's cool. The second thing is they have the actual Intellivision keypads, which you need to play these games. Any like Intellivision games on the DS that I've tried, or they've had them for PlayStation. I think they've had them for maybe the Wii. Might have had one. They
They
don't
had
work
one for
with.
GameCube.
Oh, did okay for GameCube. Yeah,
So you
GameCube
can
and
tie it
DS.
into Nintendo. Because, I mean, frankly, I actually tagged you on this too, Kirk. I'm glad you had it in the notes. If anyone ever played it on like GameCube, they really didn't translate well, even though that controller had a bunch of buttons. You really need like I think a physical Intellivision pad with the overlay. So I'm excited
Yeah,
for
What
this.
yeah.
is that? How does that work? I'm looking at the picture and there's this control with a circle at the bottom and some buttons and like a picture on the top, Astro Smash. What is
Yep.
the picture doing?
The picture shows you underneath the picture it's basically a keypad. It's 1 through 9, like on a telephone.
Mhm.
And each one of those numbers is assigned an input.
Right.
So you put the overlay down on top of it, and that shows you like where to hit. So you don't have to memorize what 1 does and what 4 does and what 6
Hmm.
does. You just you look at the picture to do it.
Cool.
But the cool thing about that, like on one of the best games like Super Pro Basketball, is you hit the button in the direction you want to pass. So it's actually very easy to control direction because you've got, up, down, left, right, and then, going off into the corners. All
Mm.
right there is buttons, and you just hit the button in the direction you want to use. And the cool thing about this here too is that they're USB. So you're not attached to the cable like you were before. You can pick them up and you can sit on your couch or chair away from the actual system and still play. And then when you plug it in back into the system, then they charge. So that's a really cool addition as well.
Yeah, neat. Wow, when does this come out?
This comes out December 5th, I think, in the United States.
That's pretty soon.
Um, and it costs $150. And yes, of course, absolutely, I already have my pre-order.
Nice. Yeah, the price is good because it says 234, but that's Australian. It's converted it for me. It must know where I live. But yeah, so what was it? 150 US ish.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to spend for 50 old, because they're not doing anything to upgrade these like they planned with the Intellivision Amico a while back. These are just, the old versions of these games, but some of them are just so much fun to play.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all over this like a lot of people are with the various NES physical releases that they put out. And for what it's worth, I have one of those too.
Yep. Oh, cool. Nice. Thank you.
What's the release date you said?
December 5th.
Oh man, that's a day after Metroid Prime 4.
Yes.
There's the real battle.
Some competition
Prime 4 versus Intellivision.
Yeah, what are you gonna? Is it going to be B-17 Bomber? Is it going to be Snafu, or is it going to be Metroid Prime 4?
Well, you've got
They should label the Intellivision the Metroid Prime 4 killer.
Yeah, Nintendo waited too long, and now it's going to get lost in the shuffle. Well, Metroid Prime 4 for me is going to be a Christmas gift wish list thing, so I'll have 20 days of Intellivision before I'll start playing Metroid Prime 4 nonstop.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Listeners, let us know if you're an Atari or an Intellivision. It sounds like television. I just realized that. What?
Yeah, see, intelligent television.
Yeah, that's cool. Let us know if you're a fan, if you're interested in that as well. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And no 3-point plan towards acquisition. You just pre-ordered that one.
Yeah. Watched it on YouTube, went to the website, and I was done.
Done. Nice. Deal. Done deal. Let's revisit Halloween and I say revisit because we started this countdown 2 weeks ago. We missed it last week. Halloween is coming up though in a week and a half kind of thing. No, 2 weeks actually for you as of recording. It's a Friday, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. What do we got? What's scary recommendation of the week? I don't have any, sorry, but I think is it Kirk? Is this yours?
I think Trevor and I can both talk about this.
Cool.
Yeah, this has been a bad year, at least from the games that I'd played or in the releases I made for horror or any kind of scary game at all. Like last year, we had a constant.
We
a
did.
whole lot of games that were coming out and that we played earlier in the year that we could talk about, and it's just not as much this time.
Yeah.
So these aren't scary, but they're Halloween themed. I think it's Pinball FX has released 2 pinball machines based on, I think they're both actual games. One for sure, Trev, I believe this might be one of your favorites, Elvira and the Party Monsters.
Yeah, that's a real table. That's the one I know. I was aware of Scared Stiff, but I don't think I ever played it.
Yeah, I don't recall that one either. Like looking at the videos for it, I definitely know that I've seen Elvira and the Party Monsters. I still see that sometimes when I go to where you might find a pinball machine. No memory of Scared Stiff, but we do have codes for this. So Trevor and I have split them up, and we're going to take a look at them.
Oh, cool. Okay, so we're going to get some actual thoughts, like review thoughts on these in the near future. Nice, sounds good.
I'm glad to take a pinball game too, because like Pokemon's a big game, and ukulele's a big game, and I'm like, I can only take so much, but pinball game is or pinball table, machine is kind of easy to review, especially if it's one I kind of already know, and this is one I have on Pinball Arcade, so I'll be curious to compare like the physics and different things. I probably won't compare it to the Atari Lynx version I have because that's a little more of a video conversion.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I really like the music on this one. I don't usually think of a pinball machine with music
Mhm.
so much, but Elvira and the Party Monsters had a really catchy track. So
And are
Well,
these I was gonna say tracks, sorry. It's not Mario Kart. Are these, machines, pinball machines, are these, out now or not yet?
they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
I think of because when I looked in the eShop beforehand, I saw Elvira and the Party Monsters, but I could not find Scared Stiff.
Hmm.
So I don't know that that one's available. Yeah, they're supposed to be available today. I'll look that up real quickly.
Okay, cool. And the other sort of Halloween related, I guess, recommendation of sorts is that Nintendo has added a spooky playlist on the Nintendo Music app, which is kind of neat. I haven't had a chance to listen to this yet, but I think that's really nice that they're doing themes. I think they've done it with seasons as well, haven't they? And they definitely have like a nighttime, like a good night, mix, which is kind of relaxing music for going to sleep. Yeah, have you had a chance to listen to the spooky playlist, Trev?
yeah, it's really it's more mysterious than spooky. It's got tracks from like Donkey Kong Country, Captain Toad, Yoshi's Story, Paper Mario, all the really scary games, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
um, or even what was the one that really struck me? Oh, you probably know this because you love Super Mario World. They had the
Mhm.
Forest of Illusion map screen music,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
don't think is even remotely scary. I
Yeah.
think it's much more mysterious,
Mysterious, yeah,
but then
yeah.
again, like Kirk said with the pinball machine, like Elvira is total camp. There's nothing scary about that.
Yeah.
It's a party and it doesn't matter as long as it's fun. And these tunes are nice. I mean, I listened to it for a while, and again, just know what you're getting into. If you're looking to get scared, you might be bummed, but if you're just looking to hear good tunes from great games, probably games you haven't played in a while,
Mm.
um, hear these, and then maybe you'll get in the mood to replay the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Thank you, Trev.
Does it have the music from Luigi's Mansion where Luigi is kind of singing along in his very frightened
Oh, I
voice?
love that. I
I
don't
think
know.
it does. I
Does
think it
it?
does. At least Luigi's Mansion, you would think thematically, okay, yeah, I can
Well,
see why
I'll
that would
tell you
be.
what. Give it a listen. If it does have Luigi kind of like humming along with it, that will be enough for me to finally download the app.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go. Oh my gosh. Alright, we'll
everybody
find out.
heard it. Timestamp 42 minutes, 39 seconds.
Yep, that's awesome. Okay, let's find out. We'll find out. We'll
I'm
we'll
going to
let
mute
you know.
myself and check right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Trev's gone quiet. Where's Trev? Thank you for that. Yeah, let us know, listeners, if you're using the Nintendo Music app at all, or if you're like Kirk and waiting for the right song or playlist, and what that might be. Kirk's segment is next. We have a game to talk about that's coming up in the future, which is Squirrel with a Gun. What's the deal with this one?
Well, apparently it exists, first of all. Squirrel with a Gun. I guess it's already out on other systems, and it is now coming to Switch 2 on November 18th. I don't know a lot about this. It looks to me like what was that duck game where the duck was running around terrorizing everybody? A
Oh,
very
Untitled
popular one.
Goose Game or something like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
It
Mhm.
looks to me like this kind of like that, at least an inspiration, except the squirrel, of course, has a gun and is being exceptionally violent with this gun. Yeah, I have no idea what this is going to be rated, but watching the video, it doesn't look like, it's just a madcap adventure of a squirrel out there. He's apparently killing people. But there are a lot of different guns, and there's parts where the squirrel's going underwater and jumping through these like weird dimension things. So it looks like there's an awful lot to this, a lot more than just, you're running around and shooting stuff. He's shooting targets to like solve physical puzzles. So it's, I don't know, squirrel with a gun. How can that not be the game I'm going to talk about?
Yes. Yeah, it's got a crazy name. And the gun, I love that the gun is huge, like normal size.
Yeah,
Like it's huge to the squirrel. So he's a little squirrel and he's carrying this
yes.
ginormous gun. So it's quite hilarious from that perspective.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This
Yeah.
little fella seems to be pretty good with it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Did you say sorry when the release date for that was? If you did, I missed it. Sorry.
Yes, that is coming November 18th.
November 18th. So that's only a month to the day for me, because it's actually the 18th right now in Australia. So because I'm ahead of you. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well that's kind of cool that it's coming to the Switch too. Do we know when it released on other, like how old is this game for other consoles?
I,
Do we know that?
I don't know for sure. It was far enough back that the Switch version, and again, Switch 2 version, I should specify, there is no standard Switch version of this. It's coming with a lot of DLC. So the game is old enough to have at least 4 updates.
Cool. I was just looking to see if there was a release date for the others, but because Amazon is weird. It's saying 31st of December for some reason, but it might just not have updated. I think Amazon just
Maybe
puts
it's
like a
different
placeholder date.
region.
Could be. And I've noticed when a game is announced but doesn't have a release date, it just puts like the end of the year or something as a
Yeah.
placeholder. And so maybe
Yeah.
it's not updated with the actual date. But anyway,
And maybe there'll be a physical version, but it's going to follow the
could
eShop
be.
version.
I
True,
think there
true.
is going to be one.
Oh yeah, that would be Amazon too, right?
I think I saw on Blue Sky actually. In
Mm.
fact, that's all I knew about the game was the key art, like just looking at the cover, and it did enough to leave an impression. I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying it was bad, but in gaming marketing, sometimes an impression is enough to
Mm.
get the ball rolling, so to speak. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Yes.
striking artwork.
It is, yes. Yeah, if listeners are familiar with that at all, do let us know. We would love to know your thoughts. Anything else before we move on to the games that we're playing? Which is pretty much me, I think, actually, this week, because we've already talked about Pokemon with Trev. Sorry, Coke, did you have anything to add?
No, not
No?
on
Okay.
Square with a gun.
Well, I'm pretty excited to talk about this next game. I think I've had a really good week of gaming, and not just because I was at PAX, although PAX was awesome, PAX Australia last weekend. Obviously, we've talked about Pokemon Legends Z-A. I am loving that, even though I'm pretty early in. Very good impression so far. Looking forward to spending more time with that. But I'm also reviewing a game called Ball Pit, and I'm really loving this game. This is like made for me, I think. This game is so good. It's so fun. It's we saw the trailer, I guess the announcement during was it the Indie Showcase? I always forget which one it was. I think it was Indie Showcase.
Yeah, that
And
sounds right.
yeah, so it's kind of like it's a mash of genres, I would say. First of all, it's got the ball bouncing thing, which is like, what is it, Breakout? Is that what we? There's another game that you guys like to reference when it's that
Arkanoid.
Arkanoid, yeah.
Arkanoid, yeah. So the ball bounces off the wall, off the enemies, and back to you. It doesn't disappear; like it comes back to you if you don't catch it. Sort of does a kind of a loop or whatever. But it's cool. It's got that physics element where if you angle it off the wall, it's going to bounce off the wall and hit the enemies, and then bounce off the enemy and hit another enemy, and then bounce off that enemy and hit the wall again, and then come back to you, kind of thing. Really neat, really neat mechanic. Love that. But it's not just that. It's also kind of a tower defense, kind of a roguelike, kind of a Plants vs Zombies sort of style. I don't know. It's kind of a lot of things at once, but it's very much up my alley. So it's like it's a vertical screen, and the enemies come down towards you automatically, and you move forward automatically. But you can walk around your area, so you can walk to the top of the screen if you want to, and you can go back to the bottom. You don't have to stay at the bottom. So it's different from that perspective, for the Arkanoid Breakout perspective. You're not just at the bottom of the screen with a paddle. You're able to maneuver around anywhere. The enemies come forward automatically, like I said. They shoot at you. Some of them jump on you if you get too close to them. Your goal is to destroy them, because if they get to the bottom of the screen, they will jump on you. So at first I was a bit like, oh, what happens when they get to the end of the screen? Do they just disappear? Do I lose points? Is it like, I have like a health. I do have a health bar, and I thought, well, maybe they just take off your. They do take off your health, but they do that by jumping on you. So if you let them get to the end of the screen, they will literally jump on top of you, and you lose quite a bit of health when that happens. So the goal is to obviously destroy them before they get to that point. It's a roguelike in the sense that you collect gems, and these level you up. And once you get to the next level, you can unlock an ability. And so you're adding different abilities. And so it's kind of a run, in that each run is a bit different because you unlock different powers. It's also got a bit of a Vampire Survivors feel to it, because you're constantly shooting. You're not You don't have to press anything to shoot. You just have to walk around and aim your shooting. But the balls are coming out automatically, so you don't need to do anything with that, which is what Vampire Survivors does as well. And the other thing that it has in common with Vampire Survivors is that you can evolve your power-ups or your weapons. So you can combine them, you can fuse them, you can evolve them when you have more than one. You level them up. There's a lot to it, I suppose, is what I'm getting at, and a lot more than I probably thought from the trailer. Although the trailer did look pretty chaotic and fun, I was interested anyway. But it's even more fun than I thought. So it's hard too. It's not necessarily randomly generated though. In terms of there is a goal to get to. It's not endless. So that aspect I really like. Because I'm not always hugely a fan of just endless runs because I like to have a goal. And so Ball Pit has different levels, which is again a bit Vampire Survivor-ish. You unlock new levels to complete. This one, there's a meter on your right-hand side and you kind of progress along the meter, or there's a little kind of, it fills up, I suppose. And there's a couple of big circles, 2 big circles in the sidebar, and those are boss fights. And then at the very end, you do a big boss fight. And then if you beat that boss, you finish that level. You have to finish the level twice to unlock the next level, which is sort of annoying, but also kind of cool because you have to do it with different characters. So you get like a gear icon because it's literally a ball pit and you're in an elevator and the elevator can only go down one level at the start. And then you complete the level with one character, you get a gear, you complete it with another character, you get another gear. And then you put these gears into the pit and the elevator, and the elevator goes further down the pit to the next level, if that makes sense. So I've done that. It took me a while. Like I've played it a bunch of times, but every time I got a bit further and every time I had more and more fun with it, understood it more, finally beat the boss at the end, and was really excited and then realized I had to do it twice. But I just did it straight away again with a different character. I'm like, sweet, I'll just do it again. And went down to the next level. The next level I haven't passed yet. That's also quite hard, but I'm getting there. I now have 3 characters. I've unlocked another character, which is cool. They all perform a little bit differently in terms of they have a bit of a buff. Like they have a certain element that they use. Like the new character is ice based, so they have a ball that freezes by default. Another one has one that burns by default. The other one I think is a bleed kind of thing, which is just like an attack. So yeah, they're all a bit different. There's heaps of characters. There's heaps of levels. It's so fun. And each run is probably like 10 to 15 minutes kind of thing. So it's not like super long. That's why it's like, it's not that bad if you have to do it again kind of thing. And each character levels up regardless. So even though the power-ups are just for that run, you do level up your character overall. So they do get stronger each time you play, which I think helps, which is probably why it took me a few goes to eventually finish that first level. And now I'm stuck on the second level, but I will get more powerful and then eventually I'll finish that one too. Yeah, it's really cool. So the other element to it, which we saw in the trailer, was there's a bit of a building component. So when you're not fighting in these trenches, you're building a little town. I wasn't super sure what that entailed, and I'm not really into those sim games as much as I think I've mentioned before. But this is really it's pretty light. Like it's not a very big component, so that makes it more appealing to me. I don't have to spend a lot of time on it. You can just plant fields to grow like wheat and forests that give you wood. And the reason you do that is so that you can build houses that give you new characters and also give your characters like a strength boost or whatever. So there's a point to it and it's worth it. And you can only, and the cute / cool thing about it is you plant all these things, you put them in your little area, then your little characters, so I have 3 now, they're standing at the bottom, they're little tiny little characters, and you can send them off just like you would in Breakout or Arkanoid, and they bounce around for like 10 seconds, collecting what they can in that time based on the direction you pointed them at. Like they literally just bounce off the walls and reverberate. And they come back with whatever they've collected during during the 10 seconds, which I just think is just such a cool little addition. You're not just waiting for a timer. It's not like every 10 minutes you get some wheat or every day you get some wood or whatever. You send your little dude out and he or she gets collects what they can depending on the angle. So I think it's really cool. And you can only do that harvesting, they call it. You can only harvest once, and then you have to do another battle to get another harvest, if that makes sense. So that kind of also incentivizes you to play again, I suppose, because then you might want to harvest. Because I wanted to unlock the 3rd character. I had built their house, but you have to hit it like 6 times. and so I did another battle so I could do another harvest. So, what else can I say? Who wrote this? 100,000 copies sold on day one.
That was me. They just sent out a press release on that. Now that's across all platforms.
That's cool.
Um,
That's good to
but
hear.
yeah, the game has done very well, and we don't even have the Switch 2 version, which
Yeah,
is still coming. So
that's
some
right.
people may be holding off on that.
That's right. This is a Switch one. I guess it's not, the most visually robust game, as in it's not hardcore, 3D graphics or anything. I think it looks nice though, but I didn't even really think about whether it was Switch 1 or 2, to be honest, when I was playing it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. But it's pretty simple. Like it's a top-down perspective. So yeah, Switch 2, that they did say a date for that during that direct as well, didn't they? It's like November, December. It's later this year, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it's doing well. My review will be very positive at this stage. I'll play a bit more, try to get through a few more levels, but I am loving it. It's so good. This is definitely my style. I really, really enjoy this. It's just like short levels, kind of hard, but not too hard, not frustrating. I love all the different power ups. There's such a wide variety of power ups to get. I love that you can combine them because I'm a big fan of Vampire Survivor, so I love that aspect. I love that it's auto shooting. I love the angles. I like the breakout style of things. I think that's a really clever mechanic. It's just got everything. I'm also a huge Plants vs Zombies fan, so I kind of like that. It's got the lanes, and it's got the enemies don't really move; they just sit in their lane until you get rid of them. But it is so satisfying when you angle the ball and you've got, say, enemies, like a line of enemies, like a horizontal line, and then a break, and then another horizontal line of enemies. And if you angle the ball and it goes quickly, bam, 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 in between that line, they get destroyed really quickly. It's so satisfying. I can't tell you how satisfying it is. So yeah, very exciting. Loving this one.
Hey, I had a quick question, and I think you
Yeah,
addressed this maybe last week's show or
sure.
and apologies if I forgot, but what the X isn't pronounced in the title? Ball X Pit?
Yeah, well, I'm going by the trailer that I saw on the Nintendo of America YouTube channel where they just said ball pit.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's why I just said ball pit because yeah, I would have thought ball X pit or ball. I don't
Times
know
Pit,
times pit. Yeah, but they just said
Ball
ball
Amp
pit, so
Pit.
that's what I'm going with. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty strongly recommending this one. I've been playing it all week, like kind of a few times a day, kind of thing. So I've had a bit of time with it, but I will, like I said, I'll give it more time before I write my review. But yeah, watch out for that one. For the review, sorry, it's out. Is it out? It's out now. Yeah, of course it's out because we've got sales data. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's pretty recent. Was it last week or something like that?
Uh, let's see. It was released on the 15th. So a
Oh,
little over, yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
15th of
Oh
September.
wait, no, sorry. Yeah, not two. I don't know
Like
why I thought
two
for
days
some
ago.
reason I said 15th and I thought the 5th. Yeah, just on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice. Okay, it's an odd day to
Wow.
release a game, but
That
okay.
makes the sales more impressive. 2 days.
Very impressive. Yeah. Yes, I agree. And then I just wanted to quickly mention PAX Australia again because when we recorded last week, I'd only been to one day of PAX. I did have 2 more days of PAX ahead of me. So I did get to try a couple more games I wanted to highlight. Um, two probably in particular. One, I think I mentioned to you, Kirk, on the show that I would try Persona 3, and I did.
Hmm.
It was really cool. I loved it. I meant to get the demo during the week at home and just try it as well, but I didn't get around to that. But I assume it's probably what was on the showroom floor was the demo. But yeah, it's
Probably, but
probably
yeah, I think the demo will allow you to spend 5 to 7 hours in it. Depending on how
actually
quickly you play.
yeah, true. No, sorry. So when I went back to this third party area within the Nintendo area, but they have third parties. So you remember I had a bit of a issue with the Elden Ring guy who didn't know what he was
Hmm.
talking about. I went back and I'll get to Elden Ring. The people I spoke to the second day knew what they were talking about. So I went straight to Persona 3. The girl who was with me, she knew everything about the game. She was telling me what to do, how it works, etc., etc. And I think what she said was I could choose between two. Oh, maybe that was Dragon Quest. She said I could. She said we were set up with a pretty high level for this for the purpose
Okay.
of the demo that was on the showroom floor. So yeah, it might not have been the actual demo. It might have just been a game like a show demo. But yeah, it was pretty powerful. I didn't have any problems fighting. I had a whole lot of demons under my belt already. So that's probably not the start of the game, right?
Yeah, no, it starts off. Yeah, you got to build that up pretty quickly, but you
Mm.
don't start out with pretty
Yeah.
real.
So turn-based battles, are they like shooting themselves every time they use a demon power? Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Okay.
that's the weird thing. Like the beginning of the game, it even warns you that this depicts suicide, and
Mm.
if you have a problem with that, because yeah, they're shooting themselves in the head to unlaunch to launch their personas.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She didn't mention that to me, and I didn't bring it up with her, but I'm looking at it going, they're definitely shooting themselves under the chin there. Like that looks like what they're doing. But the like graphically looks lovely. Like
Yep.
the demons are very creative. Yeah, I was just wandering around through a cave, kind of doing some battles and collecting some treasure and stuff like that. It was like a 15-minute demo, like they timed it, so then it just sort of switches off. But yeah,
Mhm.
I really enjoyed what I played, so I just wanted to mention that and say thank you for recommending it, and I hope you're enjoying your time with it. You're still working on that one, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think the game, does it come out October 23rd?
That's
That's
right.
when
Yes.
yeah, that
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
then because that's when the review, can go live too. We're under
Yeah.
embargo until then, so.
Yes, that's right. It's not out yet. Yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, so I'm glad you are enjoying it, and I hope the review goes well. I did go back and try Elden Ring again, and this person knew a lot more than the first person. And they'd set it up so you could play with different characters. So I tried a different character, and I had a bit more. Not that I didn't have fun the first time, but you know how I said it was kind of. I said it looked great and it looked wonderful and it played fine, but it's not my style. The second day, I did come in a bit more optimistically, maybe because I had a person who knew what they were talking about as well, kind of helped. But I also knew what I was doing because I was going in for the second time as opposed to going in fresh. But I wandered around and did a few more things and enjoyed it a little bit more the second time around. So I definitely second what I said. Can you second yourself? I don't know. But I would
Sure.
definitely it definitely looks lovely, like really nice, environments and graphics. So, yeah, definitely looking really, really pretty. So hopefully when it does release, people like it. And the other one was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake, and that looks terrific. Like, I loved the look of this one, and I'm a big fan of top-down RPGs, like classic top-down RPGs, like Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, that sort of thing. I've only played a little Dragon Quest in my time. I don't know how much you guys have tinkered with the series at all, but I hadn't played these 2. And, the demo again, this is the one, sorry, where you can choose between 2 points, and I think you're, like, level 35 or something ridiculous. Again, you're very strong, and it's just to give you a feel for the game, and you can wander around. I was on a ship for a bit, and then I was on the land, and I was just exploring and doing battles, and it's, what do you call it? Is it random encounters when you're walking around on a map and suddenly you're in a battle?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. And yeah, it's just like I said, it looks so good. They've done a really good job with this remake, and I'm very tempted to get this one. This is out, I believe, also this month or something like that. It's out very soon, I think. Sorry, I did
That
look.
one comes out October 30th.
Yes, that's right. I knew it was October. I looked it up at the time, and then it slipped my mind. But yeah, another one to look out for as well. Um, yeah, have you sorry, I did ask you and then I didn't wait for an answer. Did you have any experience with Dragon Quest previously?
I played Dragon Quest X. What, that
Mhm.
was Switch, right? Or was it Wii U? I think it was Switch. And absolutely loved it. I thought it was
Mm,
fantastic. But
mhm.
that still is the only Dragon Quest game I played.
That's right, and that was more the 3D style, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
that was a more modern approach to it. Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Trev? Have you ever dabbled in the Dragon Quest world?
Um, I played the original Dragon Warrior on the
Ah, okay.
NES,
Yeah.
and I think I reviewed a 3DS Dragon Quest game. I can't remember the title.
Ah.
But I do like a couple of like the spin-offs.
Mhm.
There was a game on DSiWare that was a fun little $5, like a almost like a I kind of forget how to describe it. And Fortune Street, that was another game on Wii. It was sort of like Mario Party, and it had Dragon Quest boards along with Mario type boards, and that was a ton of fun. So
Oh, yeah, nice.
yeah,
The
I'm not too big a fan, but I've dabbled here and there.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to think which one I played on the 3DS. So that's the one I've played in the past, and it was a top-down one. I keep thinking it was 7, but I don't know if 7 is top-down, to be honest. But yeah, there was one on the 3DS that I played and quite enjoyed. But yeah, that's my only Dragon Quest experience. I know it's super popular, especially in Japan. So
It's
not
huge.
yeah, huge, and it's from Square Enix, so it has that. It definitely has that look. Like it looks like Final Fantasy kind of thing, like in a nice way, like classic Final Fantasy games, those top-down RPGs. Yeah, so definitely looks good. I think that was just those 3 from packs that I wanted to just touch on there at the end. But yeah, anything else? Any questions for me or any other games you guys wanted to mention before we close things off for the week?
I might give
I'll
just
have more next week. I'm still pushing through the ones that I was talking about. Well, we mentioned Persona 3
Mm,
and then Full
mhm,
Metal Schoolgirl, so I don't have much to add yet, but I will next week as the reviews are done and
mhm.
live.
Sounds good. Trev, sorry, you were going to say something there?
Oh yeah, no worries. I just looked up the Dragon Quest on 3DS I reviewed. It was 8,
Oh, okay.
VIII. So that's 8, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
And was that
Roman
top
numerals.
down?
It was more like just looking at these screenshots, it was like behind the back type,
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay.
sort of like 3D. It looked good.
Mm.
So I only gave it a 6. I don't know, but it looks pretty good. I don't know what I was thinking back then.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Um, but what I was actually going to say, and I often usually forget to do this because sometimes I don't even watch the podcast on YouTube. Sometimes I'll just listen on Spotify. But
mhm.
I wanted to just give a shout out to a comment on last week's show.
Mhm.
It's from Jose, who's a supporter of the podcast, and we were talking about the Pikmin short,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
said something, and I'm paraphrasing, I didn't copy it, but something how we'd like to see that with Star Fox, and
Mm.
I'm going to second that, second him, second myself a little bit. It's a great idea because I don't know how many recall Star Fox Zero on Wii U. It wasn't really a good seller. Not the best game solo, but it had an animated Star Fox episode that was great that came packed in with it. So, and we
Cool.
haven't really seen anything Star Fox since like Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini, and that
Mm.
was over 8 years ago. So, I would love to see them, if they're dabbling in animation, go back to Star Fox. I think that's a great idea, Jose.
Yeah. Star Fox would lend itself really well to that style of animation as well, I think. Mm. Really good point. I didn't see that short that you mentioned in the game, so I didn't have that
Oh, yeah.
game. So, yeah, I
I think
didn't
it's
even
on YouTube. The game, like I said, the game was the controls were a little too complex for their own good, but
Mm.
yeah, the animated show, I think it was like, I don't know, probably not even 20 minutes,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it was really nice. And yeah, look it up on YouTube. Maybe you can capture a screenshot or something, throw it,
Yeah,
throw
cool.
it here this way.
Thank you, Trev, and yeah, thank you, Jose. Thank you to
And let me
Chris.
correct myself real quickly too.
Okay.
It was Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age,
Okay.
definitive edition that I reviewed. So now you can understand why I couldn't remember the
Oh, yeah,
title.
totally.
But yeah, it was 11.
Cool,
And
awesome.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay, you reviewed that one. Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. So things came a long way between 8 and 11 between Trev and Kirk. Since Trev came in at
Yeah,
6. Yeah.
I have to read the review and figure out what my issues were.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. It might have
Yeah.
just been, it could have just been the name. I grew up Dragon Warrior, and I know it's Dragon Quest, everywhere else, but I'm stubborn. I'm like, hey, that's the name I know. I don't want to change.
Yes, yeah. So where was Dragon Quest Japan, or was Dragon Warrior Japan? Like, what was the original name in Japan?
Dragon Quest pretty much everywhere except originally in North America. I think there was some
Ah, yep.
like tabletop D&D game maybe that they didn't
Right.
want
Mhm.
to. So they called it Warrior on the NES. The original first few.
Yep.
And then after that, it was all Quest, which I actually was looking. I did review Dragon Quest One, which is Dragon Warrior, for the Switch, and I scored that a 4. So maybe I'm just not the biggest. I'm
What?
not the biggest mainline Dragon Quest fan.
Yeah,
I'm really
okay.
more about the spin-offs.
Yeah. I think they're pretty deep games, and, Kirk will probably know from his experience with 11. I mean, I didn't get that much time with obviously 1 and 2, and they will be probably a bit simpler. But from what I played and what I could see of the world map and the battles and things like that, it looked like there was a lot to it. So I imagine they're quite in depth and quite long. Did 11 have the random encounters as well, off the top of your head?
I want to say it did. Yeah, I mean, it had a lot of encounters.
Yes.
I can't recall if you were able to see on the battlefield who you were approaching or not.
Yeah, because I would think 3D RPGs, random encounters are less common, right? Because you can see, you would think. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's more of a 2D thing, right? Like a top down.
Yeah, I think in the old days when you had maps where you were looking down on it, you saw a huge area of the map, and if they were going to drop like a little icon or something every time there was an enemy, then
Mm-hmm. That's probably how random encounters began. They just couldn't make all the sprites for all the
yeah,
enemies.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I just,
Gemma, real
yeah.
quick, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I know we're out of time, but I was looking at my old Dragon Quest review here,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things I commended was all the voice acting they had.
Ah.
And that reminded me, because when we were talking about Legends, we talked about how great the music was,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not really vocals to speak. And I was just
Yeah.
curious, do you feel like the Pokemon games need vocals or would benefit from vocals?
That is such a good question because I was thinking the exact same thing when I was playing because they never really have had vocals, have they? Like Scarlet Violet was the same. I assume Arceus was the same. And it's when I first played Legends last night, like it felt a bit weird because I'm used to audio in so many games now, and I just wanted to hear these voices, but I kind of also get why they've just stuck to what they know and what they do. I think it would benefit though overall. Surely it would just give it a bit more life. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so. It strikes me as odd. Like a 3DS cart from like almost 10 years ago was
Yeah.
packed with voice acting.
Mm.
And now, yeah, I think I scored this one too low. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see voice acting, I think, in the Pokemon games. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
the Pokemon themselves could be could make little noises. We know what they sound like, and the Pokemon anime, they obviously talk, so it's not like Pokemon is silent across all of its media. So I'm not sure why they don't do it in the games. I guess, maybe the original one on was it the Game Boy or whatever, the original? Probably, obviously, I couldn't have voices, but maybe they've just stuck to that. It's like, this is how Pokemon games work. Yeah.
Like I was just thinking, because like I made the comment how the intro felt a little slow.
Mm.
Because, they have to teach you the game. They can't presume everyone, knows how to play. I think like certain cutscenes would have really been cool to have some speech, even if it's
Yeah.
not like the full dialogue, like just the characters being like, okay, or, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
then I wouldn't be confused, who is a dude and who is a gal, right? Maybe, I don't know. So,
Maybe. And, I mean, especially in the Switch too, you wouldn't think it would be a concern for, audio is not that big, right, compared
the
to video.
music is so good. It's not
Hmm.
like it can produce some amazing, I don't know.
Maybe
It's a
there's
kind of a last minute thought of mine,
yeah.
but
Maybe they didn't want to, take away from the soundtrack or something. I would say
I'm
quickly
wondering if the fans care, like people who are listening to us,
yeah, I
if
don't
they've been
know.
Pokemon fans, do you care about that sort of thing or not? It may not be important. I don't know because I'm
Mm.
not a huge, I'm not a extensive Pokemon player.
Yeah, that's true. I know a couple of times at PAX they did mention, not with Pokemon obviously because that doesn't have voice acting, but might have been Dragon Quest or maybe Persona? I don't know, but they said there's voice acting and it's you just can't hear it because it's at PAX and it's very loud. Like, there's
That
lots of
makes
people,
sense.
lots of noise, there's lots of other games. But a couple of times the people that were working at the stands did mention, this would have awesome voice acting if you could hear it. So, yeah, that was definitely a thing. But yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you both very much for joining me this week. Thank you, listeners. If you would like to follow us on social media, we've mentioned Blue Sky a few times over the episode. We are on Blue Sky, so check us out over there. If you'd like to support us, you can head on over to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo, and you will be on the list for the Pure Nintendo magazine, which we will send out to you. It's a physical magazine that we do, and stay tuned for details on the next issue. But until next week, thank you and game on, everybody. Bye.
See you.